Welcome to the Brace Onboarding Session 2024 Cohort, Batch 3. Welcome, Martha. Welcome, Stanley. Welcome, Joseph. Welcome. I can see people commenting on the comment section. Hello, Fatu from Gambia. Good afternoon. You're welcome. Yes, we know you're muted. We just want people to come in quietly, and then we'll give you an opportunity to unmute yourself when we want you to talk. Victoria from Nigeria, you're welcome. Baston Mfune from Malawi, you are welcome. Obedience Ndukwe, you're welcome. Welcome. Cephas, Agnes. The room is fast filling up. I can't basically call everyone, but you are all welcome from all over Africa. Welcome to the Brace Onboarding Session. Brace Onboarding Session 2024 Cohorts, Batch 3, the final batch for 2024. You are welcome. So happy to know you didn't miss the Brace bus in 2024. You're welcome, Nenani, you're welcome, Margaret, you're welcome, Michael from Abuja. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, maybe for some who might be joining us from somewhere far. Salihu Aminu Haruna, you're welcome. Welcome to the Brace Onboarding Session. Yes, we're pleased to have you and we hope you enjoy the event. Welcome. The instruction is to follow and contribute to the conversation on social media. So as you're joining, also go into your phones and begin to hashtag Brace 2024 and begin to say, I am in on the onboarding session. We are all excited to have all of you join us. We have over 2,000 of you apply and are selected to be part of this program, the batch 3 of this program this year. So you are all welcome. Go to your phones. Yes, I can see all your faces. I see excited faces all around. Please pull out your phones, begin to hashtag, begin to say, I'm in on Brace. I'm being onboarded today into the Brace program. Talk about your excitement. I know we're excited. So please begin to engage on social media. We want a lot of people to hear and know what is going on. We want the whole world to hear that Brace onboarding session is going on and that you're about to commence your program adventure with the Brace 2024 Cohort Batch 3. You're welcome, everyone. You're welcome. Good evening, Alfred from Kenya. Dare Adeboye, you're welcome. Sheila from Uganda, you're welcome. Patrick Tucker from Sierra Leone, you're welcome. We have people all over Africa. We're excited to welcome you. Felices Mtande, I see you, you're welcome. Dereje from Ethiopia, you're welcome. Jeremiah from Kwara State, you are welcome. You're welcome. I can see the room is full. The room is full already, and we're going to be starting today because we want to ensure that we don't take your time, but that it's important for us to stop and have this session, this onboarding session, because we want you to understand what you're about to embark on. We don't want you to just start without first of all understanding. And so today we want to onboard you. We want to launch the program, this batch of the program, and onboard you and give you all the information you need to get off on a good start. So that's why we're having this session, and we hope it's going to be an exciting and engaging one for you. We have a lot in store, and we're going to be going in. Just like a brief rundown, I would like to run down on the agenda today. The agenda is not too full, but we are going to, yeah, so we've done our welcomes and the introductions are going on in the chat box. A lot of you are introducing yourself. We're trying to keep up. Just keep dropping your introductions and let's keep engaging with each other in the chat section so you can get to know the people that you're coming on board this program with. So keep the introductions going on. After the introductions, we're going to talk about African food change makers. So the BRACE program is brought to you by African food change makers. And so we're going to have some time to explain to you who we are and what we're about. And then we'll have the BRACE program updates. Then, the BRACE program updates involves the overview, the journey so far, the components, the portal walkthrough. And then 4, we'll go to the keynotes and finalize with the membership portion of this session. So my name is Ruth Ebe. I am the operations manager of African Food Change Makers, and I'm excited to welcome everyone. I wanted to give you the honors of introducing yourself before I introduce myself. I am Ruth Ebe, as I said, the operations manager of Africa Food Change Makers. We are excited to have you today. I am excited. If you check my polls, I'm full of excitement about this onboarding session. And so I also want you to share with us how you're feeling today. What is in your mind? What emotions are you feeling? It's important for us to know. Let's take the pulse of the room. A lot of people are joining, flooded in, and want to know how you're feeling. Are you happy? Are you excited? Are you anticipating something great? Please drop it on the comment section. We'd like to know how you feel. Before we go into the discussions, talking about who we are, talking about BRACE and all, please share with us how you feel. Someone is saying, I'm excited to be part of this program. Nnamdi Eze, we are excited also to be welcoming you. Excitement is in the room. We're matching your excitement with our excitement. Thank you, everyone. People are dropping. Am I getting some responses about how we feel? I'm trying to get down to that because introductions have been so much. I'm looking for the pulse check responses. Super excited. Someone is saying, I'm super excited. Someone is saying happy to be part of. Katesman is saying happy to be part of this program. Ben Osile Huma is saying I'm excited and I'm happy. A lot of people are happy and excited, super happy. I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh, we're excited as well. I really see that we are matching the excitement. And we really need you not just to use your words, but use an emoji to kind of explain exactly how you feel. Thank you. Thank you. I see them coming. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just keep them coming. We're still going to catch up with them. Okay, so as we're doing that, some people are raising their hands. We're going to give you an opportunity to speak. Whatever you want to say, you can drop in the comments section and we'll get to you to explain further. If you have a question or have a response, to you to explain further. Some of you are raising your hands. I don't know if you're waving at us or you're raising your hands to say something, but it's okay. Whatever emoji you want to use, however you want to express yourself, please express yourself. I'm happy to be part of those who are accepted for this cohort, says Comrade Abdul Salam Isa. We are excited you are also accepted. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to go quickly to who we are as Africa Food Change Makers. It's important for us to explain to you the people or the organization bringing to you this BRACE program. At African Food Change Makers, we nourish Africa and we change global narratives. We do that because believing that small and medium-sized enterprises are the lifeblood of the food ecosystem. We believe that the people who are functioning as primary producers, aggregators, processors, distributors, whatever your function in the value chain, We believe you are visionary and dynamic entrepreneurs, and we call you change makers. So Africa Food Change Makers is made of, it's a community of change makers, entrepreneurs who are visionary and dynamic, and who are operating within the agri-food value chain. We believe that also you operating in this value chain are faced with devastating impacts of climate change, global and local risks, micro and macroeconomic challenges. There are so many challenges facing entrepreneurs. I know you understand with me that the challenges we face as entrepreneurs are great. And the needs for funding, the need for training, the need for visibility, and different types of support is important to scale your business. And so at Africa Food Changemakers Hub, because we're a hub, we enable you, entrepreneurs, small and medium-sized entrepreneurs, to scale resilient and sustainable agribusinesses that have global reach and have global recognition. In other words, can nourish Africa and nourish the world. So that is who we are. Our mission is to enable you scale resilient and sustainable agribusinesses that can feed Africa and the world, like we said. But we do that through training, funding opportunities, exposure, trade leakages, and fostering a community of change makers. We do all that through all these means. And that enablement includes this training that you're having in Brace, because part of what we do to help you scale your business is to give you the training you need to build the resilience, to build capacity in different aspects. So our vision is to see 1 million successful and sustainable African agribusinesses or African agripreneurs like you that are transforming the food ecosystem, and you are recognized and respected across the globe. That is our vision. And through these operations, through all that we've done, we have over 145,000 unique users of the hub currently. We've trained over 10,000 entrepreneurs like you through different programs. We have members from 43 out of the 54 countries in Africa. I know we have representation in all Africa countries within this program. We have knowledge sharing sessions we hold monthly, weekly, and critical business insights are shared with entrepreneurs. So we're always building the capacity of our entrepreneurs. And we have over 4,000 agri-food SMEs actively engaging on the membership hub every single day. Later on, we'll let you know about our hub. We have global partners across the globe, up to over 16 global partners who provide funding, incubation, technical support to every one of our members and beneficiaries in all our programs. These are the things you're going to enjoy. We share knowledge resources on the hub, and we feature a lot of experts in our monthly programs, in our weekly programs, and in different capacities within our hub. Going forward, we'd like to help you understand how we provide this support. Can you move to the next slide? Thank you. Okay, so there are 4 key areas in which we provide this support. So first of all, we are building a community. We have a strong community, a platform where entrepreneurs, agri-food entrepreneurs from all over Africa can partner with one another, collaborate, share experiences, engage in peer-to-peer support each other. That hub is a thriving hub of entrepreneurs all across Africa, and you can be part of that hub today. The second thing we do is to provide learnings and trainings like the Brace Group explained earlier. So we have tailored and relevant training programs and also convenings for you, entrepreneurs like you in Africa. We partner with organizations to build resilience, just like the program is giving you. Sustainable and successful green businesses with regional and global impact and relevance. So our trainings span across giving you the resilience building competencies, and also trade help you scale your business. Another thing we do is we provide data and opportunities. Data and opportunities for funding, partnerships, industry events, provide strategic partnerships to give you visibility and recognition, either through trading of your products or either through elevating of your brand or giving you a platform for you to creatively tell your stories and promote awareness about our contribution to the food ecosystem globally. Our culinary heritage is also something we tell stories about. Have chefs, local chefs, global chefs, and all types of chefs in our ecosystem or in our community. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so like I talked about, our storytelling is, we project our stories through our podcasts, our documentaries. We've launched old podcasts. We're launching new podcasts celebrating the role of Africa in the global food ecosystem, engaging, informing, and inspiring audiences all around the world by telling stories about Africa's indigenous foods from Africa's perspective. You know, a lot of times we tell stories from other perspectives, but this time around, what we do in Africa Food Changemakers is tell our stories from our perspective. It's very important that we tell our stories so people can gain the right perspective about our ecosystem. Next slide, please. Hello, next slide, please. Let me know where we are in our presentation. Okay, so right now, as I have introduced Africa Food Changemakers, we are going to be going into the introduction of BRACE. BRACE program has a specific focus, has a specific design, and you're going to be hearing from our very own program coordinator of the BRACE program, who's going to be explaining to us what the BRACE program is about and your role in the BRACE program. So we want to welcome Amaka Chime. Amaka Chime is the program coordinator of the BRACE program, and I'll be giving up the mic to her to take us through what the BRACE program is and your role to play in the upcoming BRACE program. Over to you, Amaka.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm so happy to have you on board. I'm so happy to have you on board. We've been receiving applications from you, and now you are part of the BRACE program. Welcome, and we welcome you to this BRACE program today. Congratulations once more and welcome. You all will believe with me that climate change has been affecting agribusiness. Talk about the flooding that is happening in so many African countries like root set and even droughts and pests and diseases that have been affecting a lot of agribusinesses. So it's very important and pertinent for you to understand the things you need to do to abate this risk and all these issues and the shocks that comes with it. And that's why we at Africa Food Changemaker have come up with the BRACE program to enlighten you more on how to navigate and mitigate and adapt to climate situations. So the BRACE program is an acronym that is, the full meaning is building resilience against climate and environmental shocks. It's an intensive capacity development program designed to support African small and medium entrepreneurs in the agribusiness, just like you that have been selected in this program. We leverage on ICT, data, and innovation, and BRACE empowers agri-SMEs through training and technical support to implement sustainable solutions to scaling their agribusinesses. So in BRACE, we leverage a hybrid learning experience to engage agri-SMEs like you, climate enthusiasts, farmers, and the likes through training, peer learning, and practical application. Of course, we believe that all of you are above 18 years, your business is registered in African countries, and also you all are active in your businesses. So at the end, some of the objectives we would like to take away from this whole program is to gain awareness about climate change and is to gain awareness about climate change, develop strategies to adapt to the effects of climate change, develop and deploy mitigation strategies against climate change, and also to gain insight into climate financing and other opportunities in the ecosystem. So before we go, let's look at the journey so far. We received applications, about 2,647 applications, and 2,315 of you were selected. Congratulations once again. So for the gender disaggregation, we have 70% male and 30% female. Wow. So the 30% female in this call, I'm going to encourage you to stay to the end and have a lot of knowledge on this program. And then for the agribusiness disaggregation, we have 10% fishery, we have 2% forestry, and crop production is about 58%, for animal production is 30%. In value chain disaggregation, we receive application from aggregators, which is 3%. We receive from logistics and distribution 2%. Retail and marketing is 11%, processing and packaging 14%, and production 74%. And also our top participant location, of course, we have other countries, but the top participant locations is Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Malawi, Uganda, Tanzania, Ghana, Rwanda, and others. So yeah, so let's go to the program components and expectation from you as a participant. So first is the diagnostic tool. What this entails is that we have the pre and the post-diagnostic tool. You're going to take these tools for you. It's just for us to assess your awareness to climate change and how this agribusiness is positioned to adapt climate smart practices. So immediately we finish this onboarding today, we're going to give you access to the learning portal. And of course, the first thing that will pop up is the pre-diagnostic tech tool, where you will be asked questions about climate change just to get your knowledge about the climate change. And you are going to also do that at the end of the learning. You also tell us what you've learned so that we can be able to assess if there is a gap that has been bridged. So the second one is the e-learning portal. This program is 6 weeks, and we have about 6 modules in the e-learning portal. It's actually a safe-paced videos that you can watch, take notes, and also even comment, because there is a comment section where you can also ask questions and all that. We understand that you are business people, you have your work, you have other things. So that's why we made it a safe-paced learning portal. So you can actually learn it anytime, at night, in the morning, and all that. And it's very enlightening. And also you write down some notes that probably you have issues you don't understand, and you can equally also suggest in the portal. And if there are still other issues or inputs you need to make, then we talk about that in our live interactive session. We call it our family session. That's when we bring in an industry expert who will come and also provide more insight on the module and discuss the topic that we've learned for the week. So we do this live interactive session every week, usually on Thursdays or Fridays. And it's usually 3 p.m. If there is any change, we also communicate the timing with you. Sorry. So in that live interactive session, we have time to ask questions to the industry experts. They will accommodate your questions. Even you can also suggest if probably you understand it in a different perspective and you'd like to share with your members, you can also share the ideas. It's more like a very interactive sessions every Friday. So we do that the first week. Once we are done learning the first mode, Friday or Thursday, like I said, we're going to send you a mail in regards to that, and we'll be able to participate. Then once we do that again in the second week, the third week, the fourth week, and then the fifth and the sixth week. So that's that on the live interactive session. Then another component is the assignments and the assessment component. For here, we have the assignments, which is not really being recorded or graded. It's just for you to practice, to understand the climate smart agricultural practices, and how you can be able to transition to a sustainable and resilient agribusiness. So you can also take the assignment on your own, take it anytime. But for the assessment, it's very important for you to also take your time and understand and take it, because that's what will give you a gateway to the next module. Let me explain. Once you are done finishing the module 1, you'll be able to write an assessment. You have option to write it for 3 times. So you can actually retake maybe the first one you don't like, your score again. So once you need to score at least 65 before you can move to the next module. So once you are done with module 1 and write the assessment, you will have access to module 2. So you start learning again. Once you are done with 2, you write the assessment, then you can have access to module 3. That's how you will continue to the last module. And then please note that it's only participants who complete the full program will receive formal certificate from us and also benefit from ongoing support that AFC offers. The ongoing support, for instance, when we have our study visits, and most times we choose country where we have most participants. You have some of your colleagues or your business partners that's also been selected. So while you are learning, also encourage them to be active and finish up the course so that we have more number from your country, and that's where we do our study visit. And this study visit expose participants on climate smart agriculture, because we're going to select a facility that has all the climate smart facilities, and we gather and have a practical hands-on knowledge on how these things works, so that when you go back to your own agribusiness, you'll be able to know how to navigate, because you've done in the portal and you can also see it physical as well. And also, we usually have top scholars for this assessment. So each week, we select the top scholars and we celebrate them during the live interactive session. So I will also encourage you to try as much as you can to do well during your assessment, to score 190 and above. And okay, before we conclude, we need to recognize our funders. This program is sponsored by School Foundation, but then we have other partners, which is like the Sahel Consulting. We have the Sahel Consulting. We also have the Food and Land Use Coalition. We have the Canadian Action Africa, and then we also have International Center for Research on Women. These are the program partners as well. While the funder is School Foundation. So now, before I continue, let me allow you to watch this video to give you more insights about climate change. Then we continue. Sit down.
We are delighted that you have made the critical decision to embark on this exciting learning adventure called BRACE, Building Resilience Against Climate and Environmental Shocks. This program is designed and implemented by African food changemakers with the support of the Skoll Foundation. Over the next 6 weeks, you will gain critical insights into the climate change agenda, and every employee of an agri-food business must recognize that climate change is one of the biggest challenges facing us as humanity. The agriculture and food sectors are significant contributors to climate change and also face the brunt of its impact on their businesses. Not only does climate change affect temperatures and water levels, but also causes droughts and floods and exacerbates soil degradation. This ultimately affects farmer productivity levels, fosters pest and disease outbreaks, and leads to higher post-harvest spoilage rates and livestock sickness and deaths. In spite of the stark realities, you can play a critical role in mitigating climate change and also ensuring that your business adopts climate-smart practices and enhances its resilience. This is why your decision to embark on this journey with African food changemakers is such an important one. It will definitely make an incredible difference in your life and in your agribusiness. Brace yourself for 6 6 weeks of self-paced learning, virtual live training sessions, and assessments. Our hope at African Food Changemakers is that this program will equip you with the knowledge, skills, and tools to ensure that your business can become more resilient and even thrive in the face of climate change, and that you ultimately become a climate champion. We look forward to riding this exciting adventure with you to build a sustainable future for the African food ecosystem.
Okay, that is it. So, Brace Up, we look forward to having you in this to finish up your course, and thank you so much for having us. So now we are going to dive into another business of the day, which is the keynote speech. So I have to unmute for the keynote speaker to take over. Thank you all. Hi, Ruth, over to you. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Ruth, please go ahead. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm back again. So we have our keynote speaker by name, Tine Agernor, who is a business development manager and co-lead of the environment thematic area. So he's actually a renowned climate expert that have a lot of experience when you talk about climate change. He is a development and humanitarian aid practitioner with over a decade's professional experience in developing, coordinating, and managing the implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of projects and programs across the thematic areas of environment, climate change, agriculture, violence, migration, and livelihood, while utilizing policy and influencing skill sets to mainstream individual and system levels. Senate is currently lead of the environment thematic area of the oversees and provides strategic leadership to the organization's sustainability and environmental initiatives. Before his current role, he worked as a senior programs officer and later as program manager, respectively, in two national non-profit organizations where he supported the development and implementation of environment, gender, and climate change strategies and programs. Relatively, he has managed about 500 projects, wow, activities with an estimated financial value of $3 million US, on which about 200 staff, volunteers, and contractors worked. A key highlight is his work on the Green Energy in Communities, CRS initiative of Total Exploration and Production Nigeria, TPEN, in 3 states, and engagement several times as a consultant by PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, the Nigeria Country Program Monitor on the Rough projects. Tine has also worked on programs supported by international development partners, including UNDP, USAID, UKAID, UN Women, UNFPA, UNICEF, UNODC, IOM, UNEDS, and Oxfam. His participation at international forums, including the Conferences of Party of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, widens his global reach, network, and scope as he explores strategic collaboration initiatives to foster climate actions. An expert facilitator, he is also a doctorate candidate and a trainer. He has provided training to cohorts on climate smart agriculture, climate change, environment, water sanitation, and hygiene, and also in menstrual hygiene management, sexual and gender-based violence, and basic science education of trainers with a science, education, and development background. He is also in the course of his professional career and earlier while offering lecturing support at a sub-national government-owned university. His insight as a member of technical committee at the federal and state levels in Nigeria have been valuable in promoting development and national causes. Wow, this is so loaded. Welcome to the session, Mr. Tine Agernor. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Amaka. Thank you, the entire team at Africa Changemakers. I congratulate you on the successes that have been so far recorded on the BRACE program. I am particularly delighted to see how that the Africa Food Changemakers is working with Africans who are engaged in different aspects of the food value chain across Africa to promote food security, and not just food security, but nutritional security, and while also seeing to it that those involved along these value chains make meaningful livelihoods out of it. And so let me also say congratulations to all the successful applicants who would be onboarded today for this program. And so let me move on quickly to my presentation. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. Okay, so as we are engaged in various aspects of the food value chain, it will be necessary for us to understand how we can build resilience to climate change as a measure to ensure the sustainability of our businesses. I am particularly delighted that a background has been laid to this already. And so my work has been made much simpler by the earlier introductory remarks by Ruth, and then the video that was played on climate change by Amaka. And so I will be building on all that which has been laid before now. So basically my presentation today is to run us through how we can build climate resilience through ecosystem-based approaches. And not to worry, participants, as time goes on, I will be explaining what the concept.
Slide mode so that they can see it clearly.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That's fine. Okay, great. So as time goes on, in the course of the presentation, I'll be running us through what these key concepts are. And as we understand, we would get to know how collectively we can build resilience using ecosystem-based approaches. And so this is what to expect in the course of this presentation, to know more about our Women Environmental Program, to understand the key concepts that have been captured in our topic, to dive into ecosystem-based approaches to mitigation and adaptation, and then, of course, looking at its impact on the resilience of ecosystems. And we will be going beyond just the resilience of ecosystems. We'll be looking at the resilience of the persons or of the organisms, so to speak, that play active role in ensuring that we have sustainable and profitable ecosystems. And then finally, we'll be looking at a very brief summary, and then we will conclude. So just a brief about WEP. We were founded some 27 years ago in 1997. And our headquarters is here in Abuja, and we have country offices across different locations, both in Africa, and then just recently we had an office that has been opened in Canada. It might also interest you to know that in the course of our 27-year journey, we have reached over 20 million persons directly and indirectly. And WEP is a core feminist organization. Our structures are led by women, and we have more women who at taking leadership positions, be it at the board level and then at the management level. We are a observer organizations to many UN bodies, as you can see, UN ECOSOC, UNEP, and the likes. I would not overbore us with that. WEB's strategic pillars are in 4 key areas: environment, governance, peace, and climate change. And what we are discussing here today basically relates to the climate and environment thematic area. And you will see that we have mitigation and adaptation as key aspects of our climate change docket. And then, of course, some of the partners that UN WEP has been working with. Very importantly, we have been long-standing partners with the Global Environmental Facility, which has given small grants to many NGOs to implement actions that target to address climate change and among other environmental issues. So now, it is important for us to understand the key concepts that were detailed in the topic for discussion today. So basically, when you hear the word resilience, resilience speaks to the capacity to withstand or recover quickly from difficulties. And so I would like to relate that to our physical bodies in a way. If you suffer a fall, or maybe you're walking along the path and then you fall, how resilient you are is the extent to which you are able to jump up from that fall and stay on your feet. And so when we talk about resilience as it relates to the environment, we are looking at the ability of our environment to recover from whatever challenges that, or from whatever shocks it is which the environment may suffer, and which in this case, climate change is a major cause of shocks and some other challenges that are faced by the environment, which of course, as time goes on, you'll be getting to know. It is also important for us to understand what an ecosystem is. The simple definition is that of a complex of living organisms, their physical environments, and then of course the interrelationships that happen. So you also want to see an ecosystem as a place. It can be a physical place where you have trees, where you have human beings, where you have animals, where you have all natural phenomena interacting in a particular way. And it's important to also mention that ecosystems may be different. You can have the coastal ecosystems, you can have terrestrial ecosystems. Terrestrial ecosystems are ecosystems on land. Coastal ecosystems are places that are bordering on seas, shores, as the case may be. You may also decide to look at ecosystems in terms of maybe saline water ecosystems or freshwater ecosystems. Some of these things were discussed in our basic biology, and we are leveraging on that initial knowledge. Now, moving on very quickly, mitigation is the action of reducing the severity of something. If we relate that to the word resilience, which we had discussed much earlier, if you had fallen while you slept and you develop a wound, definitely you are going to feel some bit of pain. And so mitigation is seeing how you can reduce the impact of that particular pain. And you know that if you fall and then you suffer maybe a fracture or you suffer a bruise, what do you do to reduce that pain? Sometimes you go to buy an ointment that suits whatever it is, or that suits the nerves that have been broken in your leg or be it in your hand, as the case may be, so that you can reduce that. So in discussing issues of the environment too, we look at that as how we can reduce the impact of the various issues that prevent the environment from living optimally or functioning optimally, as the case may be. And then there is the related concept also of adaptation, which is seen here as the evolutionary process where an organism is better able to live. we might also have learned from our basic biology in school that when you are faced with a particular challenge, for instance, the human being is given that capacity, or organisms generally have been made in such manner that they are able to develop a certain capacity to cope with those things. It's just that how if you are in a cold environment, goosebumps or goose pimples, what is described as goose pimples, will come out of your skin. It is a body's own response to enable you shield yourself from the excessive impact of the cold, as the case may be. And so the environment also has its own ways of adapting to differences that could cause major challenges, so to speak, in the functioning of the ecosystems. And so we would also see ecosystem resilience as an ecosystem's capacity to absorb both natural and management imposed disturbance. We have talked about climate change and its impact on the environment. From that video which you saw, climate change basically is caused by an increase in the temperature of the earth, so to speak, trying to be as simple as possible. And it is a change in weather patterns which are experienced at a particular time over a period of 30 years. And so if from 1994, we noticed that the temperature is consistently increasing, and if that increase has been significant and consistent in the course of 30 years, then it is considered as climate change. I also believe that in our basic integrated science or basic geography in secondary school, we were introduced to concepts of weather and then the concepts of climate. Climate is recorded within a period of 30 years, while weather is that which you experience every day, as the case may be. And so you could go out today and the weather is sunny, the temperature is very high, and then in the next few minutes you will experience rain. Those ones are weather. But if you notice a consistent pattern in a particular weather element, say temperature, over a period of 30 years, and then that is considered as a climate change. And so we go back to the concept of ecological resilience, which is somewhat very similar to ecosystem resilience. And it is seen as the ability of an ecosystem to maintain its normal patterns of nutrient recycling and biomass production after it has been subjected to damage caused by climate change. And let me also mention here that many a times when we discuss climate change, it sounds like an abstract concept. And so many persons, including highly educated persons, have not come to the reality that most of the challenges that we are facing today in our world are as a result of climate change. I believe that some of us who are on this call may understand the magnitude to which climate is influencing our daily lives and ecosystems today, while some of you may not so understand the extent to which climate has become a challenge and how it is impacting our daily lives. But in the event that you do not fully understand what climate change is, you may have necessarily witnessed its impacts. For instance, I believe that every one of us is aware of the current flooding situation in Borno State. And we have may have heard of different flooding incidents across Nigeria and elsewhere in the world in the past few years. And we are told also, or it is evident, that the flooding episodes which we are experiencing across the world are as a result of heavy rainfall or irregular rainfall, as the case may be. And so before now, if you are about 20 or 30 years, you will know that before now, we had a pattern of rainfall, where for us in Nigeria and in the central Nigeria where I am located, the pattern of rainfall was that we had seasons known as both the rainy and then the dry season. In the rainy season commenced at about April every year, and then it came to an end at about September or so, But increasingly, you may have noticed a difference in this particular rainfall patterns. There are some times where we witness a delay in the onset of rains, where rains do not come in March or April, as the case may be. And then there are some times where we experience a delay in the end of the rains. And there are some times where we witness too much rainfall, as the case may be, leading to flooding. And then there are instances where we witness little rainfall leading to droughts. And we know that these different weather conditions or weather situations have contributed to unsettling the quality of living or our living conditions, as the case may be. If rain starts too early or rain delays in commencement, it affects the planting season, it affects the quality of plants, it affects the yield that we experience. And if we have a late offset of rains too, and maybe there are floods, it also affects the quality of food and then the quantity of food that is produced. This is me just trying to explain to us basically what climate change is and what its impacts are, which some of us may have been experiencing. You may also have noticed that the weather is becoming much hotter. And so as against how that before then you could stay in your rooms and feel quite comfortable, these days the weather has become so hot that oftentimes we need to employ approaches to have optimal weather so that we can live. You see people using air conditioning systems in their rooms just because the heat has become too much and they are trying to cope with it. And so in the context of climate change, we see that the impacts of climate change has been felt widely, like I'm trying to explain. There is the warming of the earth, there is the melting of the glaciers or the ice in the north, which of course has led to increasing sea levels. There is irregular rainfall, which I have explained. There are flash floods, like I have explained also. And then of course, there is desertification or desert encroachment, as the case may be, if we are speaking about our people who are from the northern Nigeria. You would discover that the Sahara Desert is encroaching in. And most of the places within Katsina and other frontline states in the north are now experiencing the movement of the desert inwards. And if you put that into context, you will see that there are quite a number of challenges that come with that because we are losing farmland, we are losing trees, there is less water available for people within these communities to use. And all of these things have been attributed to the impacts of climate change, because once there is a change in a particular weather element, very importantly, temperature, every other thing changes. Temperature affects rainfall, it affects precipitation, it affects the quality of crops that are produced, it affects the quantity of crops that are produced, it affects our own bodily functions too. And so climate change is causing a variegated impacts, and it is only necessary that we take actions to address that. And a key cause of climate change are what is referred to as the greenhouse gases. And the major greenhouse gas which has been, which accounts for climate change is carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide can be released into the atmosphere from both anthropogenic factors, which are man-made factors, and factors which are non-anthropogenic. For instance, if you have a particular place where there is a volcanic eruption, you will see that molten magma is released and so much hot air is released into the air. All these can cause a change in the precipitation patterns, lead to more irregular rainfall, and then, of course, also cause flooding. If you also see how that increasingly human activities like the cutting down of trees for use as firewood or for roofing are getting out of proportion, trees also absorb carbon dioxide, and then in the presence of sunlight, it uses that to create food, as the case may be. And so when trees are unsustainably cut down, then it causes a disruption in the CO2 cycle within the atmosphere, leading to more temperature, and then of course causing more precipitation, leading to increased rainfall and flooding, as the case may be. And so when you look at the impacts of climate change and how it affects our lives, there are two key solutions that are being advanced for climate change. One of them is to adapt to the impacts of climate change, and then the second is to mitigate the impacts of climate change. If you're able to relate this to the example I gave you earlier about falling too, when you fall and you rise up quickly, to adapt to that, you might want to look at the factors that have caused you to fall. Maybe the ground was slippery or there was too much water. And you might want to also guide yourself on how best you can walk carefully so that you are not, or you do not slip on that particular floor surface and fall. And if you have fallen and sustained an injury, you might also want to look at how you can take actions to reduce the impact of that pain. And so now we are looking at how we can support the earth, how we can support the ecosystem to cope with the impacts of climate change, as it were, and then, of course, to also limit the actions which cause climate change, as it were. And so adaptation will be seen. Let me just go back to this slide. Adaptation can be understood as the process of adjusting to the current and future effects of climate change, while mitigation, on the other hand, is seen as preventing or reducing the emission of greenhouse gases. And so oftentimes these two concepts can be intertwined, but they are a bit different. So while one is seeing how you can help yourself to cope with the current difficult situations that have been occasioned by climate change, the other one is seeing how you can prevent those things that cause climate change from happening. And in this incident, it has been identified that greenhouse gases are the major causes of climate change. And so mitigation efforts or mitigation actions will be targeted at reducing the release or emission, so to speak, of greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide, into the atmosphere. And so if we look at adaptation and mitigation to climate change, there are different approaches to mitigation, and there are also different approaches to adaptation. And a school of thought has classified these two approaches into gray solutions and green solutions. Whereas gray solutions are those that have been are human-made solutions. Green solutions are those that are nature-based, that are ecosystem-based, that are rooted deeply in the environment, as it is explained here. And so we will go on quickly to also look at the differences, so to speak, and perhaps the advantages of green versus gray solutions. And so here we see that gray solutions, for instance, if you want to address an issue like flooding in a particular place, for instance, if you build drainage channels using concrete, then that is a gray solution. But if you are able to plant trees or maybe plant more vegetation to address surface runoff of water, then it is a green solution. And so we have some bit of statistics here that tells us that gray drainages, for instance, if you decide to go the gray way, which is man-made, can be effective as containing floods or storms, but of course only storms or floods that are of little magnitudes, controlling runoffs of up to 2.5 cm. However, for depths that are above that, in extreme weather conditions, green infrastructure will be critical. That tells us that the gray solutions, which are human-made, can only control these extreme weather elements to a particular extent. And if you are going to control extreme weather elements as we are experiencing today, then it will be necessary for you to adopt green solutions because they have a larger capacity to contain the climate change and its increasing impacts for us. I will bring the example of the Maiduguri flooding also into this. There are dams which have been created to contain water, to provide sources of water for people within the city. And the dams are great solutions. And so what has led to the current flooding in Maiduguri is as a result of the fact that there was excessive rainfall beyond the level that was expected. And so this great solution which was made could not contain. And so you will see that the first example I've given here comes into play. If the great solutions which we have are not able to contain the extreme weather events that we are having, then we have flooding. And we can imagine the difficult impacts that the people in Maiduguri are facing now. Their houses are lost. Their farmlands are lost. Their hospitals, children are no longer in school. Women and girls can face greater impacts of sexual and gender-based violence. Hospitals have been closed. There is no electricity. I'm told that the cemeteries have also been destroyed. The soakaways are mixed up. How do they get clean water to drink? How would women and girls be able to get water to take care of themselves and then handle their menstruations and the likes? And so it is important that green solutions are implemented. Then again, you will see that green solutions are more expensive. You will see the cost of building a dam will involve a lot of money, but if you're able to implement natural solutions within these areas, they cost much less. Then again, green solutions are more longer lasting. You will see that a dam or a gutter will have a lifespan, even if it stays for the next 100 years. There will be the time where you will need to maintain it occasionally, and all these things require money to do so. But green solutions have little or no cost at all, which are attached to their maintenance. Then, of course, there is also the bit about the fact that green solutions have more trust as compared to gray solutions. And then getting us to also understand this better, ecosystem-based approaches are also known as nature-based solutions, I have explained earlier. And then, of course, they comprise of practices that are rooted in nature, which are used in addressing the disturbances, such as climate change, which have been caused to the environment. This is us also trying to explain what eco-based adaptation is at this point. Remember, I mentioned earlier that adaptation is how you are able to cope with the difficult situations that you find yourself in. And so if we are to bring in eco-based solutions, which I have said are nature-based and that are deeply rooted in nature, if we are to apply that or merge it with adaptation, it will tell us that ecosystem-based adaptation now will be the strategy of using nature as a defense against climate change and its impacts, which I have mentioned earlier, that include drought, excessive heat, and poor crop yield, as the case may be, to see how, if you look after nature, nature looks after you. Basically, that is what adaptation within this context related to ecosystems-based approaches is. Then again, if you look at the definition by the Convention on Biological Diversity, they say ecosystem-based adaptation is the use of diversity and ecosystem services as part of an overall system. It tells you that ecosystem-based approaches are not just used singly. They must be part of an overall strategy to help people, showing you that it has a focus on human beings to adapt, to live with the impacts or the adverse impacts of climate change, as the case may be. And then, of course, it gives us 4 core principles that ecosystem-based adaptations are. That first and foremost, it must encompass the use of biodiversity. It must be focused on the people, and that it must be such that it supports people to adapt to the impacts of climate change, and that it must not be a standalone activity. It must be part of a larger system. And so understanding that ecosystem-based approaches are nature-based solutions, it would be interesting for us to look at some of the approaches which fall or which can be classified as nature-based adaptation strategies. First and foremost, let us take a look at the using of trees as fire breaks to address wildfires and then to address desertification and sandstorm. Running again or leveraging again on our primary school integrated science and biology, we know that trees serve as windbreaks for storms, particularly for those who are in the northern part of Nigeria, where sandstorms are more of an ecological thing that is faced there. You will see that when you plant more trees, they serve as a barrier to reduce the harsh impacts that sandstorms can have, or hurricanes, as the case may be, can have within those communities. Then again, if you have been watching on the news, it is not so much of an environmental thing in Nigeria, but we would need to bring it just into context to enable us to situate how that trees are very important. We may have been hearing of cases of wildfires in Australia and in the US and the likes. Wildfires destroy trees, they destroy forest ecosystems, they destroy houses, and then, of course, they also destroy animals. And wildfires also have both natural and then human-made causes. And one of the causes of wildfires, again, is the increasing temperature that is experienced globally. And so in adapting approaches to addressing wildfires, oftentimes you see governments in different countries using human-made solutions like using aeroplanes to spray carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And you know that our fires are fueled by oxygen. And so when you spray carbon dioxide into the air, it serves as a cover, so to speak, over oxygen. And sometimes that is used as a strategy to address that. But you will see that that is a great solution because you are using aeroplanes and you are using carbon dioxide, which is also even contributing more to the impacts of climate change. Now we will ask ourselves that where wildfires are faced, what will be the strategy to address these particular wildfires in a way that it is nature-based? There are particular species of trees that when you plant within particular areas, they resist or they are able to serve as, how does the fire service call this now? They are able to serve as quenchers, so to speak, for fire. One of the examples of these trees is the Mediterranean cypress. And what makes the Mediterranean cypress a quencher, so to speak, for fire? The Mediterranean cypress carries a lot of water within it, and then its trees, or its leaves rather, also have high water contents. And so if you are able to have a plantation of Mediterranean cypresses in a particular location, even when you have these wildfire episodes coming, because of the heavy water content in the leaves don't get burnt. And oftentimes, even when the leaves fall, they also form this barrier around the roots of those trees, so preventing the trees from suffering the harsh impacts of climate change. And so you can imagine that planting hedges of Mediterranean cypress trees around particular cities or around particular forests can control the level to which such forest ecosystems can be affected by wildfires, as the case may be. Then we've also talked about the extreme heat that is suffered within urban areas, where if you look at the combination of people using transport systems like cars, which also run on fuel, which also create emissions of carbon dioxide and other harmful gases, contributing to the overall heating of cities. And where indoor cooling is not done in the natural way, but of course it is air conditioning systems are used, your normal ACs as the case may be. Those are great solutions. But there is an alternative which is more sustainable to addressing urban heating or indoor heating, as the case may be. We can adopt the use of trees within our communities, which serve as adequate covers to even absorb the excessive heat that comes from the sun or that comes from the atmosphere, as the case may be, and then provides that much needed cool and serene environment that we can live in. Many of us will agree that when you have trees in your houses, you find out that your houses are cooler as compared to places where trees are removed and that where ACs are used, because these ACs also run and then contribute to providing more heat, contributing to the overall climate challenge which we face. So by way of summary, planting more trees within urban centers and doing away with AC chilling system is an ecosystem-based adaptation approach. Then, of course, also for those who are resident within the Niger Delta areas, you see those tall trees or those plantations that are within those places are referred to as mangroves. And so when you have a lot of those trees within your coastal areas, they serve to address coastal erosion. You will recall I have mentioned that one of the impacts of climate change is the melting of ice in the global north, which is leading to an increase in the level of sea in the level of seas. I beg your pardon. And if you have been also following climate change projections, we are told that within the next few years, Lagos will be submerged underwater. I don't know how many of us have heard that, but there are projections that with the level to which the seas are rising because we are having more rainfall and that we are having the ice which is in the north melting, Lagos will be submerged underwater. And only recently too, the capital of Indonesia, which is Jakarta, has been suffering sea level rise. And so there are also great solutions that were implemented within Jakarta to address these sea level rises. But remember, I also told us earlier that great solutions are not sustainable. Currently, if you Google, there are plans in place to remove or to relocate the capital of Indonesia to another place, because Jakarta is a coastal city, and because the great solutions which have been implemented to address the sea level rise in Jakarta are not working, the government is already making plans to relocate an entire capital city to another place. And so bringing it to the context of Nigeria and then other places, you will see that climate change is really causing a lot of challenges, and that there will be the need necessarily to put in place green solutions to address that as against green solutions. So if you plant trees or the tree ecosystem within your coastal areas are not cut down, then they help to protect against sea level rise to a reasonable extent. They also help to protect against very strong waves. If you have also stayed around our coastal ecosystems or coastal areas, you will discover that there are many at times you will see very strong waves coming in towards the land area. And if you do not have those trees that are serving as buffers, or if you do not have those mangroves that are serving as buffers, then you will find out that the water will have its way into the coastal areas, and it can lead to erosion of these coastal areas. You can also imagine that the people who live around these coastal areas, if the tidal waves are not controlled and it leads to erosion within their communities, you can imagine the impacts that it will have on their houses. It can destroy their houses, it can destroy their food, it can destroy their health infrastructure, and then it messes up with the entire living conditions or the sustainable living of people within these communities. So there is an emphasis on the use of trees. Then again, if you go over to the use of vegetative cover to address erosion, even in our savanna in our savannas here and in our different ecosystems that we live in, we will see that when you use grasses to cover a particular area, it serves to reduce the level to which there is erosion. And so oftentimes erosion affects only bare surfaces where there is no vegetative cover. And so covering our places with grasses are a better solution as compared to maybe building concrete infrastructure. Whereas many a times in our houses, you see people using interlocks as against just planting grasses. Those interlocks will require maintenance. Those interlocks contribute to the heating of the atmosphere because concrete absorbs heat and it is not able to manage it properly. But you will see that natural vegetation is better able to control the temperature that is in the atmosphere, and it has variegated benefits which contribute to our better healthy living, and then of course to the environment too. The use of whole slope approaches, as we have stated here, is a system where in mountainous regions, you plant taller trees that are at the topmost part of the mountain, and those taller trees serve to, prevent excessive winds from affecting the lower parts of the mountains. And they also serve as sponges, so to speak, that are compact mountain soils and then prevent excessive runoff of soil and then of course of nutrients, seeing to it that people who are living within mountainous region are better able to cultivate on the slopes. And so how it works is that you have taller trees planted at the topper part, and those trees serve as buffers which protect the plants that are at the lower parts of the slope from being washed away by water and then from being destroyed by the strong winds that are experienced. There are a vast majority of adaptation approaches which are rooted based in nature, which for want of time, we may not be able to over-explain, but of course, expecting that as time goes on, you would get to learn more about it in the course of the program and as you embark on this self-paced study. So this is just showing us a picture of what using trees as fire protectors, so to speak, are. You will see that in the first picture, it shows you how a forest has been divided, or how a barrier has been created in between a forest, so that if peradventure we have suffered the incidents of forest fires on the right hand, because there is a barrier that has been created here in the middle, the fire will not be able to move to the other end. So in as much as this is a nature-based solution, the picture that you see on your right, which contains trees, which like I mentioned earlier, the Mediterranean cypress, if you have the Mediterranean cypress, for instance, you could use it to fill up this particular space that has been created here. But you will discover that the trees will not get burnt. And so the adoption of ecosystem-based approaches calls us to see how increasingly we can rely more on nature-based solutions, and how that we can move along in the continuum. If, for instance, what we have on picture one is a nature-based solution, we will ask ourselves, is that the best approach to follow? If we say no, then we see that there are trees here, or there are tree species which could help.
Sorry to cut you short, but time just
Okay.
to.
Okay, great. I'll try to run through it. I'll try to run through it as much as possible. So it calls us to adopt approaches that are more rooted in nature, as the case may be. Now, having spent quite a lot of time on discussing adaptation approaches, you will see that both actions which you take to adapt to the impacts of climate change also contribute to mitigation. Because if you plant trees, which has been an increased vegetation cover, which has been the emphasis on adaptation, which helps people to cope with the impacts of climate change, then you will see that trees also absorb carbon dioxide. You will recall that we had mentioned that one of the core causes of climate change is the greenhouse gases, and carbon dioxide it is. Yet again, basic knowledge from geography and biology tells us that trees absorb carbon dioxide. So the more you have trees and the more you have vegetation cover, the more you are able to absorb carbon dioxide, which limits the level to which there is carbon dioxide in the air. And then again, trees also help to capture carbon from the atmosphere and then store it in the soil. And so we will see that the actions which can be rooted in nature, which are implemented to address adaptation, are also the same measures which are implemented to also mitigate to the impacts of climate change. But just running through quickly for want of time, some of the other mitigation actions that can be taken, which are rooted in nature, is limiting overgrazing on grasslands, zero tillage, or the practice of climate-smart agriculture, as the case may be, the addition of organic matter to the soil, as against using chemical fertilizers. Ecosystem-based approaches push for the use of organic manure, push for the use of cow droppings and the like. Then it calls for the combining of different crops on the same field, that's multiple cropping. Then it calls for the implementation of agroforestry initiatives. Agroforestry initiatives basically are looking at how you can plant trees and then also plant food crops, ensuring that these ecosystem services are able to provide food for you. They are also able to provide trees which may be used for timber, for roofing of your trees, for your roofing of your houses. And then, of course, it gives you that combined benefit of enjoying from forest resources and enjoying from food resources while also protecting the people and planet. And so how do the environmental ecosystem-based approaches and ecosystem-based mitigation approaches contribute to building resilient systems? We have discussed it in the course of the conversation that we had. When you have a tree well planted, or when you have a plantation, it will prevent that particular place from suffering the impacts of flooding, because we have three roots which serve as sponges, and then they make soils more compacted. And when you have soils more compacted, it limits the level of runoff of water. And then you will find out that when you have more vegetation cover, it also helps to absorb and manage the level to which we have water. It helps in purifying water. It helps in promoting soil flora and fauna, where living organisms are better able to live and then cause the soils to be well aerated. It makes for better, fertile soils, such that when you plant your food crops there, you are able to get foods that are high in nutrient, and then of course, which quantities you are also able to use to feed the teeming population. So by way of summary, when you use both ecosystem-based adaptation and then ecosystem-based mitigation approaches, they are firmly rooted in nature, and there are phenomena and processes to address the imbalances that are caused by climate change. And when you employ these approaches, you're better able to realize systems where the nature is able to rejuvenate itself, where nature is able to better recover to the harsh impacts of climate change, as compared to if, for instance, you're using electric cars, or whether you're using AC systems to address issues which have been caused by climate change. So summarily, what we are saying is that plant more trees, make sure that you plant more trees, make sure that you plant more trees, and just keeping the vegetation cover. And we'll be able to realize a situation where nature is able to treat itself, and human beings and other organisms which live within the ecosystem are better able to recover and adapt and then live sustainably. So thank you.
Thank you for that impactful presentation, Mr. Tine Agernor. Thank you. I've been looking at the comment section and so much accolades have been pouring in. The words that are being used: powerful, impactful, interesting, impressive. Thank you very much for that presentation. I'm sure it's not difficult to appreciate your presentation, as you are an expert facilitator and a doctoral candidate and trainer. Even someone was asking that you must be a lecturer with the way you brought practical insights to the topic. We're really, truly grateful, and it has been an engaging one. Thank you very much. And thank you for everyone that has expressed. Thank you for everyone that has expressed, your impression on this presentation. Thank you. Keep them coming in. However, we are moving to the next section of this, because I know as we're talking about how practical and impressive the presentation is, we're sure that some of you might have questions that you're asking. A lot of insight was given about how to mitigate, the climate shocks, the changes that climate brings that impact businesses, impact the agricultural sector, impact the ecosystem. And I know that we, in our practical way, have questions, have personal experiences that we must have, like he has touched upon from his presentation. We might have some questions. So we're going quickly into the Q&A section, where we'll be asking you to ask your questions, dropping them at the comment section so we can address them. To take as many questions as possible. Some participants are raising their hands. Let me see. I know I see Ubong Apan, hands raised. If you can unmute yourself or someone help me unmute him, you can ask your question. Then we can call on others as well to ask their questions. So go ahead, Ubong.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello,
we can
Ubong.
hear you.
Yeah, I want you to quickly enlighten me on green solution and gray solution. Difference between green solution and gray solution. Is a green solution for planting of trees and grass to control the erosion?
So perfectly, Akpan, you got it. So basically, a gray solution is man-made. Meanwhile, the gray solution is man-made. Grey. So an example of a gray solution is if you build a gutter with concrete, if you build a dam with concrete. But a green solution would be, instead of building that a gutter with concrete, you could decide to just plant trees there, or plant grass, which helps to control the runoff of water, and which also helps to absorb the water into the soil.
Okay. I still have one more question, please.
Great.
In the green solution, are we having just those two ways of controlling them, only tree and grasses? Don't we have any other way of controlling them apart from those two?
Okay, so those would be the two major ways. When you have strategies to address a particular problem, you will find out that there are some problems that once you address one, they address the other 1,000 problems that may be attached to it. Just like how if you have fever now, for instance, and you have not eaten well, even if you take medicine, you might not recover fast. And so eating food will enable you to recover fast from whatever illness. That is, if the illness you're having was not even caused by hunger, for instance. And so we find out that a vast majority of the challenges which we are facing in the environment today are caused by the fact that the environment is too hot and that we are losing too much vegetation. So if you're able to plant trees and then make a lot of forest and then increase vegetation cover, a vast majority of the challenges that we have relative to climate change will be addressed. But that's not to say those are the only solutions. There are some other solutions which you can implement, like carrying out efficiency measures in your various businesses, for instance, limiting the level of water which you use, proper water management approaches, carrying out agriculture or implementing climate smart agricultural practices, which includes maybe mulching, using organic fertilizer or cow dung, as I mentioned earlier, as against using chemical fertilizer, using organic pesticides. Like you can make pesticides with cow dung, you can make pesticides with neem leaves or neem seeds, which are also referred to as, that's dogon in Hausa. And so there are a vast majority of approaches which you can take, but regreening and planting more forests have proven to be a key solution that if implemented globally, it will help address and buffer all these other challenges which we have faced.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tine. Thank you, Bong, for your question. I think I would have, if you can drop your questions in the chat section, we can pick them up there. But I think for us to move faster with this, would like a few people to ask their questions, and then Mr. Tine can take them, because most likely some of the questions you want to ask, someone else can ask. And please, if the questions have been asked, I don't think you need to ask them again. So just ask questions based on what others have asked. So we're going to Yusuf. Can I call on Yusuf Garba? Are you there? Can you unmute yourself and ask? Please keep your questions as short as possible, and as punchy as possible, so that we can cover as much. Yusuf, are you there? Can you unmute? Caleb, are you able to unmute and ask your questions? Or please drop your questions at the comment section. I'm there looking to see if I can find some questions to respond to. Caleb, can you ask quickly?
Okay, my question is simple. I'm Caleb from Kenya. And
okay, thank you, Caleb.
My question is, after this program, maybe if there'll be opportunities for us to apply for fundings, if they'll be there, please tell us.
Sorry, we didn't get your question. Can you ask that again?
Okay, I'm asking, my question is simple.
Mm-hmm.
After going through this program, are there opportunities for us to access fundings to our agribusinesses? If there are any, please tell us.
Okay, we're going to answer questions about the program later on. The question and answer section now is for the presentation that you've listened to, just for additional. So we'll take note of your questions and we're going to address that later. So if you have specific questions on the presentation from Mr. Tine, please ask them so he can clarify, because that's what this section is for. You will get more information about, the aftermath of the BRACE program in your subsequent sections. So we're trying to go fast so we can conclude here and move on. Someone is asking difference between AFC and BRACE. We're going to talk about that later. Who else? We're looking for questions. Please, can you ask your questions? Connie, can you ask? Chitsulo, please stick to the questions relating to the presentation you heard, about building resilience. Okay. Hello, please. Thank you, Connie. All right.
Thank you for the beautiful lecture. I'm Connie from Malawi.
Okay.
I only want to know if we are getting the slides after the class.
Okay, so Ruth,
The slides that you presented, are we getting them?
Yeah, we had that question. We're going to get to that. I said, let us stick to questions relating to the specific content of the presentation. We're going to answer all your questions. Just stay on and you will get all the answers you need relating to the resources that you're going to get afterwards, relating to, what will happen after the program and every other thing. Please, we're taking questions on the presentation specifically. Someone is asking, someone is saying that the world needs to hear this, especially those in areas where farmers practice bush burning. Also, governments in each state to enact laws that regulate felling of trees. Thank you. Can we have all of you raising up your hand? Can we have Fakia Folusho Idowu ask your question? Hello? Okay, Bayemi, if you're able to unmute, please ask your question. A lot of people are asking, someone is asking about drought, what are the solutions used to mitigate against drought?
Drought, okay. So I will, I don't know if I can motor on.
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should because
okay, great. So it still boils down to planting of trees and increasing vegetative cover. Maybe Ruth, at a later time, perhaps we might need to explain how the science of climate change is, so that people are better, or participants rather, are better able to understand the intricate relationship between plants and climate. So like we mentioned much earlier, trees trees are able to control the level of precipitation, and trees are also able to control the temperature in the environment. And from our own basic knowledge of biology, integrated science, and geography, for instance, we know that rainfall is in very simple terms, rainfall is a process that is influenced by the temperature in the environment. Rainfall is caused by precipitation, and when trees, how do I even explain it to you now? Now, a rainfall is caused by a number of factors, and temperature, humidity are among the key elements that influence the level of rainfall. Temperature, humidity, the level of precipitation. Now, understand that trees play a valuable role in moderating the level to which the atmosphere is hot and the level to which there is humidity in the soil. You will know that the leaves of trees have water in them, and so they absorb water. The roots of trees also are semi-permeable, and so they are able to absorb water. The trunks of trees also have membranes in them that are able to absorb water and keep. And so when you look at how trees use carbon dioxide, or how trees absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, then you will understand that if a rainfall is caused as a result of how hot the environment is and the level to which there is humidity in the atmosphere, this is me explaining as a non-core scientist here, then you will know that if you cut down more trees, then you might have more heat in the environment, you will have more water in the environment, you will not have those structures within the environment that are able to regulate excess heat and excess water. And so you will have an overdrying of water, as the case may be, and you will have an overflooding of water in different places. And so the single act of planting trees and increasing vegetative cover can address both flooding on the one hand and then droughts on the other hand. But if this explanation is
Thank
not,
you.
perhaps I can just have a bilateral with you to explain to you more the intricate relationship between plants and vegetation, and then rainfall and other climatic conditions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tine. Thank you for that response. A lot of questions are coming in from different people about different things. People are asking about carbon credits and markets and carbon footprints.
I saw that.
Yeah, someone is asking, is there any method of reducing or preventing greenhouse emissions from large stock animals? There are so many questions.
So maybe I'll just,
we are really short of time because the questions are so many. And you know, one thing I must say is that this brace program actually addresses most, or if not all, of the questions that you're asking. So Mr. Tine is here. He's also accessible and we can always reach him. However, because of time, we might want to just move on a little bit and then we can maybe come back to this or find another avenue. So there like was announced earlier, we have a WhatsApp. Hello, sorry.
Good afternoon.
Who is that? Kabiru? Kabiru,
yes,
you want to ask your question?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, the lecture was very interested, most especially for us that are crop farmers. I'm talking from Niger State, Nigeria. Okay. So we are the maize farmers. Most of the problem we are facing with this climate change is long time duration of the dry spell. That lead, you see, so most of our crops are suffering from the pest when the dry spell succeed for for long time. Like, to the extent that some of our farmers are even lost their investment in from these pest attacks. So I don't know if Prof can be able to give us something that will guide us, or the mitigation that we can adopt to maybe to prevent from these pest attacks. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. So I'll just respond to that very quickly. So there are a number of actions that you can use to address a pest attack. I would like to grade them into immediate, medium, and then long term. Immediately, you can still use organic pesticides. Remember, I had mentioned one of the things WEP has done with her beneficiaries on certain projects is to teach them how to use neem trees, that's dogon yaro, to make pesticides.
Okay.
And you can also use droppings from cow, and then the urine, and then the droppings from cows, the urine and droppings from goats to also mix and then sprinkle. So that helps to address with pests.
Okay.
Right. So
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We're taking note of all your questions and we're going to collate them. Mr. Tine, thank you very much. We would like to ask if you can stop sharing your slides so that we can continue to share our event slides and just move on to the next. So many questions are coming up. If we have to address them, it will take hours to address them. I know that participants are, you know, raising their hands, trying to ask questions, but I'm telling you that you can be rest assured that the BRACE program is going to respond to all these questions. In addition to the BRACE program, we have weekly live interactive sessions. We also have, Amaka has explained to you that we also have a WhatsApp group for the BRACE program where you can drop your questions and get responses immediately. So we're going to collate all these questions. We're going to send them to the speaker. We're going to get the responses and we're going to share with you. So make sure to join the WhatsApp group so you can get the responses to your questions. You can be rest assured that in this community, we learn together, we grow together, and that's the commitment we're making. So at this point, so that we do not lose the momentum, we don't lose the excitement, so that we capture, you know, the excitement of the moment, would like everyone to turn on your videos, because where we want to take a group video. For every session we hold, we like to capture the excitement of the moment. So please, please, everyone participating, put on your videos, put on your best smile. We're going to get our team members, one of our team members to take a group photograph. So everybody, please put on your cameras and ensure that your camera, please face the light. I can see some people, your faces look like shadows. You need to turn your phone or your computers and face the light so that the light can hit on your face and we can see your face. Yeah, I can see some people's shadows. Please, we don't want shadows. We want smiley faces. Please sit up and smile. Give your best smile. We're about to take, and some people, I can see their rooms. I don't see their faces. We really need to see faces on the screen. I'm seeing somebody's ceiling. We don't want to see ceilings. We don't want to see doors. We don't want to see empty rooms. We want to see faces. Face the lights. Put on your best smile. And then we'll have our team member, one of our team members, take the group photo. Somebody saying we don't have electricity. Okay, can we quickly take the group photos? Please give me a prompt if you have just taken the snapshot. Have we taken it? Please, someone give me a prompt. All right. Do we have a picture? Somebody give me a prompt. Someone keep me a prompt. Okay, we've not taken the group picture. Please just keep your smile on. Keep your smile on. Let's take one more or two more. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep your smile on. Don't be tired. We really need to capture this moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. You guys have all been great, and we appreciate your presence. We appreciate everything. And we thank you for joining us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Some people are saying there's no electricity. Some people are saying it's dark in Tanzania. Some people say their phone is going off. It's okay, it's okay. Just stay on the program, stay on the Brace program, and you will have more opportunities to join and take good pictures in other live interactive sessions. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Tine. We can't thank you enough for your presentation. It's been amazing. It's been great. Right now, we're going to go to the next session quickly because the portal, thank you very much, sir. The portal is where your Brace program is housed, and that's where it's going to run. So it's important for us to give you a walkthrough. And so I'll be calling on my colleague, Emeka Mbachu, to give a walkthrough on how the portal works so that you can understand how to access your courses, how to do your assessments, how to move or navigate through the program in your own time. Remember, we said it's self-paced, so he's going to take us through the walkthrough. So I'm handing over to Emeka right now for the walkthrough. Thank you very much, Emeka.
Thank you very much, Ruth. Hi everyone, I'm Emeka Mbachu, DM lead software developer at African Food Chain Makers. So I'll be taking you guys through the walkthrough of the Brace portal. So I'd like you guys to confirm if you can see my screen right now.
Yes, we can see your screen. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, that's great. So congratulations to those that have been selected for the program. I'm sure that you guys have received your confirmation emails also. So you will also receive an email of your default password or not. But if you have received it, all you have to do is come to the link and just log in. But let's assume that your password didn't work or something happened. What you just have to do is use the password reset. So it's just straightforward. You put in your email, You put in your email and then submit, and you get a password reset link in your email. If you don't receive any email, or if you have any issues with receiving the link, you can just contact us easily at brace@afcoop.org. Once you reach out to us, we'll get to you quickly and fast. So next thing is, if you have, let's say, some issues with your browser, your mobile browser, your desktop browser, you can check out the self-help page. So we have a self-help page here where you, let's say you get a 400 bad request, you could go here, check the particular browser you're having the issue and fix it yourself. And also, let's say you have some issues with the browsing settings or the courses, you can also check here. If after all this and you still have issues, just feel free to send us an email with your issue and we will resolve it for you. So first of all, once you've done your password reset or once you've logged in using your default password, so this is the first page you see. This is the diagnostic tool, or let me say the pre-diagnostic tool. So this just helps us assess your business and who you are and everything about you. This is like the first stage you go through. If you don't finish this particular stage, nothing can happen. We can't help you. We can't do anything for you. You will need to go through this stage and finish it before you can actually log in. So these questions are quite straightforward. You can see them. Select your answers, move forward. Select your answers, move forward. If, let's say you are tired or you don't have time, you could just save it. Once you save it, it has been saved. You could also log in again and come back from where you stopped, which is very, very good and helpful for those that have a very busy schedule. Also, so these accounts I use right here are for those that just started. So let's say you've completed the diagnostic tool, the pre-diagnostic tool. So please confirm that you can see the second page. Can someone please confirm that you can see the second? Okay.
I can see. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So on second, okay. So on second page, let's assume that you've completed the pre-diagnostic tool and you have access to the page. You come here, you log in, you can see the dashboard. So once you start, you wouldn't see track your progress and you wouldn't see congratulations, because I'm getting this because I've finished my modules and courses. I've finished everything. Once you finish everything, you get this, congratulations. So you can start your post-diagnostic tool. But for now, you just started, you just logged in. So you would see the first module. And how we do it is, once you complete the first module, the second module shows. If you don't complete the first module, you can't see the second module. Also, we have the language settings here. If you're not comfortable with English, you can switch to French and everything change to French so you can read properly and be more comfortable. So let's start with the modules. So once you start, this is your first module. Only this will be available. Once you start it, you can see all the courses here. So all these courses are unlocked because I've finished everything. But once you're starting, you will only see one course, that introduction. When you get to the introduction, same thing. You can switch to any language you like that's comfortable. Also, if you want to watch the video on a French version, you can switch. Once you switch, it's on French version and you can play. You can play. So also, let's assume that you're using, let's say, a slow internet. Your internet is slow, you're using a mobile data, and you can change settings. You can decide to change quality to like 240p, 220p, just to accommodate your internet connection. So I'm using the auto, so it just switches by itself. But if you don't want to use auto, you can switch to lowest. If you're confident about your internet connection, you can use 720p or 1000. So there's also CC for subtitles. If you're comfortable reading, let's say you cannot hear what is playing, you can use CC. You can see right now CC is in French. So you can switch, you can change it to French or English, but right now, let's just off it. So also by the side, you can place comments. You can see other people's comments. You can see people's comments. You can place comments. You can write about it. So you can communicate with people. Just you can express yourself on each course. So each course has its own communication. So let's move to the next course. Once you're done reading this, you can move to the next course. So in the next course, you can see new comments for each course. Each course have new comments and discussions. So each of the courses, some courses have downloadable content. You can see there are some content you can download. Let's say each course can come with some documents you would like to go through or read yourself. So you can download them here and read about them. So let's go back to all modules. So you can see there are 6 modules here. Once you finish everything and once you finish all the modules, you go to the assessment history. You can see all your modules here. You can see the assessment history. Everything is here. What you scored for each module, what you scored for each of them. Also, you have 3 retakes. If you fail the first one, or let me not say fail, if you get below 70, the first one, you can take it a second and a third time. So let's assume now I got 50% here, and I'm not confident with the score. I can still retake this, begin and answer the questions, answer them, and then submit. So once you're done with all these, you'll be given access to the post-diagnostic tool. So I wouldn't show you that yet, but once you're done with all your modules, you'll have access to the post-diagnostic tool. And once you complete your post-diagnostic tool, you get access to your certificate. Then all you have to do is just to click on the download, and you download it, and everything will be good. Also, you can also see your top scholars here also, but right now, you can't see any top scholars because nothing has started yet. But once your program starts, you'll be able to see your top scholars, those that are doing well. And also, we'll have a self-help page, just in case you need to like go through some videos. In our self-help page, you can see everything. Just in case you would like to remember some things, you can go through everything, have a walkthrough and see what's happening. We also have a settings section where you can upload your photo, you can change your profile picture, you can also update your password. So that's all for the onboarding and walkthrough. So if you have any issues, don't forget to send us an email at brace@afchub.org. And thank you very much. So I'll then pass it back
Thank you very much, Emeka. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Hello, can you all hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yes, Ruth, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much for that walkthrough. We have a few, I think we have 1 minute, but we have one more session to go, and then we'll be done. And so I'll be handing over to our membership officer to do the membership drive. So if you're here, Nosa, I'm handing over to you quickly. People are dropping their WhatsApp lines to join the WhatsApp group. Can you hear me, please? Amaka, please confirm that you can hear me. Hello? Can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, Ruth, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you, Ruth. Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you very much. So Nosa, I'll be handing over to you, our membership officer, Nosa, to take us through the membership details for being a member of Africa Food Changemakers. I hope we understood the walkthrough. So Nosa, I'm handing over to you.
Thank you so much, Ruth. Good evening, everyone. Can you confirm that you can hear me?
Yes,
okay.
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. So my name is Nosa Obano, and I am the membership officer at African Food Chain Makers.
And I'm also using this opportunity to congratulate every BRACE participant on this call. And I wish you all a very successful 6 weeks to your onboarding. BRACE is just one of the segments we offer at AFC, the program aspect at African Food Chain Makers. Like my colleagues have already explained earlier, African Food Chain Makers is focused on building the capacity of entrepreneurs. And we do this through 4 interactive ways. First is having a membership community, which I will speak to. The others are the programs we offer and also the resources we upload on our members on our dashboard and on our AFC websites. So speaking to the membership, we have a growing community of entrepreneurs across the value chain of agric, and we help the entrepreneurs to scale their businesses by providing them support, provide them with the necessary tools they need to scale their business, and also networking opportunities. So our membership community is open to entrepreneurs within the agric value chain, from primary producers to farmers to processors to aggregators to logistics providers to agri-tech experts to chefs and even to food bloggers, because we run across the value chain of agric in Africa. And we have a membership base of over 43 African countries. So we are in East Africa, we have members from East Africa, we have members from North Africa, we have members from West Africa, and also from Central Africa. And speaking to how we can become a member, we request that you follow these 3 criteria, or you apply to these 3 criteria, which the first is that you either own an agribusiness or you work in an agribusiness firm that is in the existence for at least 6 months prior to when you sign up to become a member. Also is that you should have a social media handle or a certificate of a business certificate that certifies that you're in the agri space. This will help us in verifying your registration, because we not just signing up to become a member, you have to also be verified to be able to access fully all the benefits you offer. And in talking about benefits to entrepreneurs, we offer benefits from recommending you and referring to access to financial support, to speaking engagement, to feasibility, to also to networking opportunities. We have a membership group where you can connect directly with entrepreneurs in the African space. As a member, you have a designated membership platform or membership dashboard where you can access various opportunities, various resources, chat engagement with other entrepreneurs in the membership group. Also, we have you'll be subscribed to our membership newsletter where you receive weekly insight on agricultural information, agricultural activities, and also information on events that you can network, events you can also contribute and dialogue with other entrepreneurs as well. And if one major aspect I also like to talk about is the members marketplace, because we know the importance of creating visibility for entrepreneurs. We have a members marketplace on our dashboard where members of our community can upload their products to the global audience on our membership page. What you have to do is just to sign up to your membership dashboard and navigate to the marketplace where you can upload details of your products, details including the product picture, the product details, the name, the product tag, the description, the prices, and the location where someone can get the products. Once you've done this, you just have to click on the submit button, and we will verify from our end and also approve it so that it can be uploaded to the main AFC website where other site visitors and potential buyers can see your product and also get in touch with you to connect on how they can purchase this. Also, we also provide exhibition opportunities for entrepreneurs. We liaise with event planners, event organizers on how we can get speaking engagement for entrepreneurs, networking engagements, visibility. We get exhibition booths where we can showcase our members' product and also have our members showcase their products, depending on the level of relationship we have with the event organizers, to get exhibitions slot for entrepreneurs. I've spoken to how we offer benefits to entrepreneurs. Before I go, I would like to also do a quick run on how you can join our membership community. Most people here thinks that when they are already a BRACE participant, they're automatically members of the community, which is rightly not so, because like I said, BRACE is one of the programs we offer at AFC. The membership community is totally different from the programs that we offer. So to become a member of our AFC community, it is done in 4 quick steps. The first is to visit the AFC or click on the link that have been dropped in the chat box. Once you've done that, you navigate to the join the community icon, where you'll be asked to respond to a few questions about your personal information and your company information. Questions like uploading your CAC documents or your social media handle, or providing details to your company and your personal information as well. Do know that all this information are strictly for data sake and are not shared to external audience. Is our top priority to always maintain our members' personal information in our database. Also, after you click on submit, the next step is to navigate temporarily to your membership dashboard. Temporarily because you won't be verified until after 48 hours. It takes 48 hours to be verified as a member, but you will be temporarily taken to your membership dashboard where you have temporary access. Temporary access means that you won't be able to fully utilize the membership dashboard until you have been verified. So as a member on your dashboard, you have opportunities to also join the membership groups, such as the WhatsApp group, the Facebook, the LinkedIn, and the Telegram membership group, where you can also connect more with other entrepreneurs and engage with our daily conversations on the group. Once we've reviewed the membership registration and we've approved your membership sign up, you would receive a confirmation email that tells you you are fully an AFC member and your onboarding process will start. Your onboarding process includes you receiving videos on how you can update your membership profile, how you can subscribe to the membership groups, how you can also utilize your membership dashboard fully to be able to benefit from the membership opportunities that we have. Once that has been done, you are a bona fide member of our membership community and you'll be subscribed to our newsletter where you receive daily updates and also opportunities that we share with our entrepreneurs. Thank you so much. And having said that, I would like everybody who is not a member of the community to click on the link below and join the membership community in a very few minutes. Thank you. And I'm available for further questions to potential members and already existing members.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Edward. I can see your thumbs up. So everyone that has joined the community, let me see a thumbs up in the chat box, and potential members too. Let me see you saying I will be a member of the community ASAP.
Thank you. Please, let's click the link and join the community. It's important you join the community. Someone asked a question about receiving funding after the program. The benefits of the membership platform include links to opportunities that include funding opportunities. So you have resources shared with you on the membership hub every day on opportunities for funding. And then you would also have support from your peers and people who have gone ahead, who have accessed these kind of funding to support you. So it's important that you join the community. Don't miss this opportunity. Click the link right now and join the community. We want to thank every one of you who has been part of this onboarding session. I want to right now officially congratulate everyone because you have been selected and you have been successfully onboarded. So congratulations, everyone. Congratulations for being selected to be part of the BRACE program, 3rd batch 2024 cohort. Remember, click the link to become a member. Remember, click the links that are shared to you for our WhatsApp platform. Ask your questions, engage with your peers, start engaging with the learning portal. We've taken you through the walkthrough so you know how to use the portal. If by any chance you might have some questions still, or you experience some difficulties, the WhatsApp group is there for you to drop your questions and you will get a response on how, or you get support on how to progress with your courses. I encourage you to engage immediately, engage in your courses immediately, complete your modules, don't procrastinate, ensure that you complete your modules as soon as possible. Take your time, go through them, immerse yourself in the experience, and you'll be better off for it at the long run. Remember, you have a pre-diagnostic tool that you need to complete and the post-diagnostic when you have completed. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. We thank you all for joining us. We'll just, people are dropping messages saying they'll be joining soon. Okay, so I want to hand over to Amaka so she can, take us through the final steps of this onboarding section. So Amaka will bring us to the final aspect of our agenda. Over to you, Amaka.
Yeah, Emeka have actually explained the next steps. First, Emeka have explained to you how to change your password and also how to navigate in the portal. So first, like you said, you take the pre-diagnostic tool and then start learning. The module 1 is already there for you to start learning. After which we are going to have our first live interactive session on 20th of September 2024. That's next week, Friday. So note down all the questions or discussion you'd like us to also ask on that session so that we can be able to address it. And please always check your email regularly for email updates. We usually send updates for this program, so it's also good for you to check. I've seen a lot of people dropping WhatsApp link. Please, they are not our official WhatsApp group. Once you log in the portal, you will see a link that will show you join the WhatsApp group. So you will directly join the WhatsApp group from there. That's the official WhatsApp group from AFC. Please don't join any other WhatsApp link that have been dropped in the comment section. Kindly use the one in the portal. That's the official Brace WhatsApp group. For the slide, yes, that it will be shared to you via email. And also, some of you have been writing to us that are having issues to upload their commitment form and all that. We understand all those issues and sorry about that. For those of you that are unable to upload your commitment form, kindly send it back to us as an email. The same email we send to you to sign and upload, please send it as an attachment to that same Brace email so that we can be able to have it on our own. Since some of you are having issues in uploading it using the link that we shared. So if you're able to upload it via the link, that's fine. But if you're having difficulties or challenges to do that, kindly send it as an attachment to us. We will still have it. So I think that's a few questions that we have. Pusha, please, next slide. Okay, so kindly also join our social platform, our Facebook, Instagram, and also subscribe to our newsletters. If you have any issues, like I said, also please still contact us through brace@afchub.org for any inquiry regarding the program. Thank you very much. Thank you for attending. See you next time. That's on next week, Friday, so that we can have our live interactive session. I see so many hands up. I'm so sorry. We might not be able to take more questions because our time is up. But then all the questions that have been dropped in the comment sections have been captured and we're going to all address, especially the ones that are from Mr. Tine, will be sent to him and he will be able to respond to you. And we share all of that via email. Thank you all and have a great evening.